Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Vortex Racing Network's production of Big Trucking Tuesday. The Bonfire Race League is proud to present season number 12, the Dennis Puckett Memorial Season, as we are ripping through our 13-race regular season, race number 9 this week at Darlington Raceway. Joe, you ready to see some action out there?
Yeah, it's going to be a good one here. We're coming down here to the end of the regular season. Only a few weeks left. A lot of Darlington racing going on across MRL and BRL here. So a lot of these guys going to have a lot of experience just from what we've been doing here the past week or so.
Yeah, lots of races in our sister league as well. Moonlight Racing League taking the opportunity to run at Darlington, as well as the Cup Series and all of the Bonfire Series as well. Darlington, 1.3 miles. The Lady in Black, so difficult to tame. But tonight we are going to see 35 drivers attempt to put this thing to rest. 35 drivers, 130 laps, 4 sets of tires. This is the Good Food Fast Waffle House 170 live on the Vortex Racing Network. Mean Gene Money, we're too wide in the booth today with Smoke and Joe. You're wearing multiple hats, Joe. Appreciate the hard work that you're putting in. Zach Panzarella will be returning, but right now he's in Italy having a good time on his honeymoon. Joe, last week Atlanta, what a heck of a day. We saw Daytona, we saw a big win from Kyle Lynott and a big old wreck as well. Lynott and Brenner start on the front row. Brenner led so many laps, and then there's a wreck on the green-white checker. Brenner gets the big push from Jax Duvall. Lynott gets the push from Jax Duvall. Brenner was getting pushed by Justin White. Justin gets caught up in a little incident. That leaves Brenner out to dry. Kyle Lynott with the win. Doesn't need to lead a lot of laps, just needs to lead one. And that jumped him up 8 spots. Lynott now pushing his way into that 12th and final playoff position. And you know the routine, boys and girls. It's 12 men gonna go to the playoffs. There's no such thing as a win and you're in. A little stipulation though, Joe, you gotta have the 10 starts. You need to have 10 starts to qualify, and that puts 3 drivers right on that list. If they miss one more, they are SOL. And that's David Brenner, Kyle Lynott, Jax Duvall with 6 today, coming into today, making 7.
Yeah, so those guys are going to have to make it to every race from here on out in order to make the playoffs. However, on the other flip side, you see the guys up towards the front, David Owens, Joe Volpes, David Buell, Nick Mills, all those guys up there in the top 5. Also Zachary Williams, Stephen Neal, those guys as well are going to satisfy their 10 out of 10 start requirement here tonight. It's just going to come down to how many points they score. David Owens has almost a 4-race cushion right now on the cut line. Joe Volpes about 3.5 races. AJ Binish, he's going to need some more starts, but he's almost got full 3 races as well. So those guys right now are pretty safe as long as they keep making their starts. But I mean, look at that battle at the cut line. David Brenner +6, Kyle Lynott +5. And then you got Graham McGivern right there, 5 back. You got Troy Sand right there, 6 back. Jake Johnson, 8 back. Tommy Fox is 12 back. I mean, look at how tight those guys are. There's everybody back to, I'm not going to count Jaron Valley. Unfortunately, he won't be able to make the races anymore, and he's not going to be eligible either. Back to 21st there, you see, they're all within a race there. Duvall only 22 points off the cut.
Yeah, a couple of names going to miss it today. Chris Smith not going to make the start today. And also Graham McGivern, he's in 13th, not going to make it. So that is going to create another obstacle for those 2 drivers as they try to climb that hill and make their way into 10th. Small consolation, or into 12th. Small consolation, of course, 12th place is open to multiple drivers. So you tie there, that means you will be in the playoffs as we will go into a 5-race playoff. 2 elimination rounds of 2 races each, and the finale going to be at Chicagoland, and we're going to wrap up season 12 of Big Truckin' Tuesday there. But let's get back to the business at hand. Qualifying underway. As far as practice goes, we saw really good times. Zach Engel, Jax Duvall, George Jewell, the only cars to break 30 seconds. The rest of it really close all the way down to, gosh, I'd say around 15th, maybe 20th, and down to Kyle Lynott. And then after that, you see a big break on those times. But I'll tell you what, while they're wrapping up qualifying, let's go ahead and get a word from our sponsor. This is the Good Food Fast Waffle House 170. Let's take it over to our good sponsor, KK Woodscapes.
What's this? Trophies. Look at these trophies. Oh, yeah. Oh, a surfboard. Yeah. Oh, check out that Daytona 24. Yeah. Oh, wine bottle. Big time. Cup of wine in the big time. Yeah.
And we're back. Nick Mills laying down qualifying times right now. Nick has had an interesting path the last few weeks. He's kind of been Miley Cyrus out there. He's made contact with a few people, been an aggressive driver. But, you know, you want to win, you're going to have to be aggressive at some points in the race. Question is, can Nick reel it in and make sure that he's there at the end to go ahead and take a shot? Here we go. Here's Kevin Kyle. This is the driver of the number 1 in and out Ford racing here tonight. Also, Top Split Productions going to be a co-sponsor for Kevin, as well as KK Woodscapes, who's our sponsor here tonight. Kevin chilling. You know, this is an interesting thing. We see a lot of Kevin's Premier Cup team do this, where they wait, Joe. They're just kind of chilling and staring at the track temperatures. Is that a thing you believe in?
You know, it's something that you might want to take a look at. It's very interesting to see how it plays out. Most of the time, I pay attention to it, but I feel like I do better if I'm not paying attention to it that much, personally.
What about lap 1 when you see the guys scuffing tires and just going hard left and right on that practice lap before they come around? Do you think there's a lot of merit to getting the tires hot? I know super speedway's not as important, but how about a track like this, 1.3 miles, varying turns as well? You know, turn 1 and 2 just seems to go on forever. Seen a lot of people diamond that thing. Do you want to scuff your tires, get them hot before you get out there?
You know, it's if you know how to do it right, then it might help. But with how hot the track is, here, I could actually pull that up for you real quick. You know, we could see how hot the track is right now. Look at that, air temp 81 degrees, with the 65% humidity. It's got the track up at 114. So I don't really think scuffing up the tires might be the right way to play it.
No, it is not. I would imagine first lap going to be the hot lap for a lot of these guys out here tonight. Keeping an eye on the track times during qualifying here today. Looks like David Brenner, he doubles down. He had a great run, and now he sits atop of the pole with just a little bit of qualifying time remaining. Tommy Fox, look at him right behind him, 0.08. That might be Tommy's best run of the season. Of course, Tommy and Brenner are in the middle of this playoff hunt. Going to see them back. Look at Kevin Kyle. You got to go across the line, guy. Nope, not going to do. Ooh, that is going to hurt. Jared Kelly also fast here in qualifying today. Zach Engel, some good names up at the top. There is George Jewell. How about Justin White? Lots of fellas making great times here today. Look at that 7th spot empty. You know, that guy just ain't run yet.
Yeah, you know, you get some weird stuff that happens, you know, during qualifying with the graphics. So looks like qualifying is starting to wind down here, Mean Gene. So let's pull up them results.
And here we go. These are going to be your official results here for the Good Food Fast Waffle House 170. And your poll winner is going to be David Brenner, the number 22 Gulf Coast Racing driver. Congratulations. He is going to win our award tonight. raceweekly.com. That's going to be David Brenner. Tommy Fox is going to be in second. Jared Kelly, the Nixon Point Racing driver, got that 55 truck in third. Zach Engel going to be on the second row with him in fourth position. George Jewell, this guy needs some more starts, but he's here tonight in that number 36, starting in fifth. Justin White going to get his ride, number 28, up into sixth place. Nick Mills gets seventh place. I guess he was the invisible man in that last display. Joe Volpus going to start in eighth. Teammate David Owens going to start in ninth, and Jax Duvall needs to make every race, going to start in 10th. And you know what? I'm going to steal 11 from you. Matt Novella, this guy, he's had a heck of 8 days. He won Monday Night Mayhem last Monday, winning the Premier Cup race at Atlanta. He had a podium last week. This guy's on fire. Keep an eye on that number 56, starting in the 11th position.
Yep, starting alongside him, you got Kyle Lynott in 12th. Alex McCorder and Matt Schofield to start in row number 7. Behind them, you got David Buell, the series owner now, after the unfortunate loss to Dennis. Starting alongside newcomer Eric Gambrell. He's making his third start here tonight, so he'll be able to get his permanent number after this race. Starting behind them, you got AJ Binish, another very uncharacteristic qualifying effort from him. He'll start back in 17th alongside Brandon Sheldon, somebody else we usually expect to qualify up towards the front. He's going to have his work cut out for him in the early part of this race as well. We look further on back through the field. We got in row number 10, Sam Milliken and Jake Johnson, some guys that really need some points here tonight. Behind them, you got Nicholas Rendo, Matthew Smith. The next row back, 23rd, 24th, you got Jared Ogletree, Paul Ferdiani. Row number 13 has Tim Darby alongside Kevin Kyle, who did not put down a lap time. So everyone else on back does not have a lap time. That's Edward Peltz in 27th, Zach Williams in 28th. In 29th, we got Troy Sand, 30th, Wayne Newman, 31st, Jerry Rose, 32nd, Sam Ballard, 33rd, Jeff Pfeiffer, 34th is Stephen Neal, and 35th is Morris Craven. And I believe that's going to round out your field here for tonight, Mean Gene. And we're rolling about ready to go green here in a second.
10 drivers choosing not to qualify here today. No worries, as Darlington, not a track where track position is important. Oh, wait, it's absolutely important. But I don't think we're going to see the Dirty Air Aero package affect these trucks as much as we have seen it affect the Cup cars. So it's going to be interesting to see when people make a move. I imagine we're going to see a lot of moves, especially in turns 3 and 4 where the brakes are applied. Let's keep an eye right now on the 22 of David Brenner. He is going to be in the lead. He's on the inside. He's got Tommy Fox on the outside. Flagman is a waving, and away we go. David Brenner going to bring him across that start-finish line into turn number 1. Great jump there. He's going oh, and Kelly smashes into Tommy Fox, and we're spinning early here at Darlington.
Oh, that's a really tough break. Look out, everybody. Oh, Kyle Lynott makes contact with the 28 after he spun out. That's going to be some big damage to the 28. You see the rear of that truck is a bit messed up there, Mean Gene. Let's see if we can get a closer up look at the rear of that truck there for you, just to see
Justin White not needing that foolishness. The 28 of White immediately getting involved, not what he wants to do.
Yeah, look at the rear end of that truck. It's pretty messed up there, Mean Gene.
Ooh, and the Florida man, Duvall, getting chippy on the radio, thanking somebody for a 4X. You got to love it. Gotta love it. Right now, though, there's Duvall right behind Owens. I don't think that's who he was talking to. Duvall, let us know. He'll put his front end right into somebody.
I think it was Nick Mills was where that comment was directed. So let's go back and take a look and see what happened here. First lap of the race, and we already got a caution, Mean Gene. Did you see that coming?
Well, it was interesting because what happened was Jared Kelly came right up into Tommy Fox, and that made Fox hit the wall. I think a lot of the field reacted to that, and then deeper in the field, they didn't because you don't see it up there. So what? You're going to see right here, Tommy Fox, he's on the outside. Well, it looks like he actually came down into Kelly a little bit, but then people start to slow down. You can see Smith. Ooh, he picks up Duvall. Nick Mills was just driving. I don't know what was happening there.
Yeah, some unfortunate contact here. First corner of the race. This could have been, that could have been way worse than what it was. Looks like the 28's going to have some pretty significant damage. The 988 might as well, and the 84. But like, look at how close these guys were to this being a really big wreck.
And funny thing, the speed was not really up. The guys in the back of the pack were still, around 100 mile an hour. They hadn't gotten up to speed there. I just want to say in defense of Nick Mills, you've seen that great moment where Dustin Hoffman hits the cab and yells, "I'm walking here."
Uh-huh.
Let's take it from the perspective of the cab driver. He could just run over Dustin Hoffman and say, "Hey, I'm driving here." And I think that's what we saw Nick Mills do. Nick Mills, "I'm driving here." And Smith got in front of him. And, well, Smith goes to the back, and he's just going to have to figure out if that thing can keep rolling. I still think he is. I'm sorry, White, Justin White. And White still in the pits trying to get some repairs done on that truck. Meanwhile, it looks like Pfeiffer, Sand, and Ballard, they chose to just start and park. So the 85 of Pfeiffer, the 80 of Sand, and the 48 of Sam Ballard all start and park tonight. 32 trucks making the start and 31 on the lead lap. White staying in the pit, going a lap down. That's not good news for the 28 Toyota of Justin White.
No, it's not. But, the way this race started, maybe it'll be a bit of a caution fest, and that'll prompt him to get back into the race a little bit faster. Only a lap down, so a quick caution here, and he can get back on the lead lap and hopefully get this thing fixed up enough to where he's competitive again.
Yep, 31 trucks on the lead lap as we make our way around lap number 4. David Brenner, pole sitter, now, though, has the 55 of Jared Kelly on the outside lane. Inside, second row behind them, you can see George Jewell with that number 36 Chevrolet, and Tommy Fox with the 57 Ford behind him. Angle and Mills in the third row. Owens, Duvall in the fourth row, David Buell, Matt Schofield. And away we go. David Brenner takes us under green. Gonna get a 3-truck lead quickly over Jared Kelly. Single file, Jared Kelly got George Jewell, Tommy Fox. Owens rubbing hard on the 47 of Zach Angle. Angle gets loose. Owens stays with him, and that's going to open the door for Mills and Duvall to zap around the outside. You can see Brandon Shelton's got that number 2 Bay Spice? What's the name of those spices?
That's Old Bay there is what you're looking for.
Old Bay. Not to be confused with Old Spice. You don't want to put Old Spice on your fish.
Yeah, I mean, I think the flavor and the flavor profiling is a little bit different between Old Bay and Old Spice. I don't know if you ever tried that before, Mean Gene.
No, but I sure love those commercials that they have. Here we go. We're on lap number 6 of the Good Food Fast. Waffle House 170, and your pole sitter, David Brenner, locked in combat with the 55 of Jared Kelly. Kelly is known as a Pro Cup driver, but here today, making an appearance in the Truck Series, trying to chase down David Brenner. Behind them, there's a nice gap of about 0.6 of a second to Jewell running in third. Tommy Fox still making a great effort here today. Nick Mills going to move up into the top 5. And then I think all of these fellas kind of running single file right now in the back. Kind of reminds me of what we saw in the real race. Little action there between the 27 and the 13. You can see Vulpes squirt around the 27 of Ogletree. And now Matthew Smith lining up underneath to maybe take a shot at the 27.
Yeah, so some of these guys pitted there to check for damage. The 13 was clean, so he's starting to work his way back forward. He's up to 16th since that restart. Some other guys that pitted, make sure they didn't have any damage. Alex McCorder, he's only into 23rd right now. You can see him, he's battling with Kyle Lynott, who also pitted there. They're 23rd and 24th. Matt Novella, he's back in 27th, making a pass right now for that position. All those guys pitted to make sure that their trucks were clean. Justin White, of course, with the damage he had, he is a lap down, and oh my goodness, somebody just got the wall really good right behind him.
Yeah, that's that Darlington stripe that we love to talk about. So everybody making progress around. The tightest battle, it looks like, of course, is going to be for that top position. You can see Brenner and Kelly really having a good time up there with each other. And then Angle and Duval, that is a group of 4. Look at that little group of folks having a big time right there. That's David Buell on the inside with that 52. That's Duval gonna slide right in front of him. AJ Benish in the Summer Shanty ride as well. So good action there on the track between that little group of 6. Single file as we push back. Oh, the 51 gonna get aggressive with the 32 of Jake Johnson. Gets side by side with him. Oh, not quite and he's going to bring him up. Don't pinch him, son. Don't pinch him. 51, part-time driver. Jake Johnson, playoff driver, does not appreciate Chrome Dome. Going to let him go. 51 finally makes that pass. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're about to come to lap number 12. Of course, we will go silent on lap number 12 in remembrance of our founder of Bonfire Race League, Dennis Puckett. David Brenner there now with a half-second lead over Jared Kelly. George Jewell, a few truck lengths behind him. Tommy Fox, Nick Mills. So we're pretty much spread out even amongst the top 7-8 trucks right now. So not a lot of tight battles up in the front there. You got to go all the way back to David Buell, AJ Benish. And look at Buell. He is getting aggressive. Looking at that high side. Got Jack Stival in his sight.
He got the wall a little bit there, Mean Gene. That got a little testy for him.
Well, and now he's got a rookie in front of him. That's Eric Gambrill there. Gambrill up 5 spots into the 11th position. Buell trying to recover. You got to wonder what kind of damage he put on his truck there. Sam Milliken, the Houston, Texas driver, behind him in 13th. So a little bit of a group battling up here. But what? Oh, no, that's the 96. Looks like the 96 of Matthew Smith not very happy right now. That is going to bring out our second caution of the day here on lap number 15.
Man, I think it's just a case of people pushing too hard. Let me take a second here to spool up this here.
Oh, no, not Justin again.
Just take me a hot minute to spool this up for you. Hold on.
Well, yeah, that was the back of Justin White there. We don't want to see Justin get wrecked again. That would be unfortunate. 28 trucks on the lead lap. Looks like Kevin Kyle Back might be having a... Oh, no. Yeah, Kevin Kyle Back having a rough time of it. Justin White also a lap down. Let's go to that replay right here. Take us through this, Joe.
Yeah, so the 96 trying to get around the outside of Nick Rendo. Just gets in the wall, comes down into the 05, and then we're along for the ride. Look at that hit that the 15 truck took into the wall there. Did you see that, Mean Gene?
It did. McWhorter, slight correction. I wouldn't call that an overcorrection because he kept that truck going in the right direction. That's a lot of erections. But still, you got to be wondering what kind of damage that 15's also looking at on that right side. Watch him right there. Just a little tap. We've seen in the Cup cars, if you take a right rear damage, that will really get that tail end to spin around on you halfway through, especially turn 1 and 2. Hopefully McWhorter, not any right rear damage. What was that? Was that a fake out by Owens there?
No, he came down pit road and put some fuel in that bad boy. So what I'm hearing here is, talking about some bad erections there. There's a bad erection to the right front suspension of the 15 truck right now. Some serious wheel damage from that hit with the wall. Tough break there for Alex McWhorter. He's got a pretty decent amount of damage from that.
Yeah, McWhorter, one of the drivers, trying to make up playoff points. This is not going to help him. Ooh, and that thing is not repaired. Remember, no fast repairs here in the Big Trucking Tuesday series. So any damage that you take is serious and could be catastrophic. You got to take care of your vehicle. And with this many trucks out here on a 1.3 mile track, and the way that the wall just comes in and smacks you sometimes, you got to be concerned. Up front, it's the same picture that we saw. It's still David Brenner as your lead car in that 22 Ford. Jared Kelly next to him. George Jewell, Tommy Fox still on that second row. Nick Mills, Brandon Shelton now moving up. As some people have chosen to pit. AJ Binish, Eric Gambrill up into 8th, David Buell, and Sam Milliken going to round out the top 10. Fastest movers, you might be wondering who's getting it done. How about Brandon Shelton up 12 spots into that number 6 position. So Brandon the Law Shelton, that's a guy we're going to keep an eye on in that Old Bay number 2 Chevrolet. Old Bay Chevrolet. That rhymes. Here we go. Pace car out of the way. Keeping an eye on David Brenner. He's on the inside. He is your control truck as we come into the restart zone. Slowly creeping and away we go. Great jump there by the 22. Outside lane, Jared Kelly gonna make chase on him. Inside lane, you got Jewell now finally getting into position. Tommy Fox, Shelton, Nick Mills, top 5.
Yeah, it looks like a really good restart there from the front 3 as they're going to pull away a little bit. Tommy Fox, not as good of a restart, though, means he's under pressure now from Brandon Shelton and Nick Mills from behind.
Brandon Shelton going to go dive in, bring it side by side, starts to plow up the track a little bit. Tommy Fox trying to make the momentum of the outside lane work. Nick Mills, he'd split him in half if he could. Luckily, he didn't have the momentum to do it. Luckily for Tommy, not luckily for us, because I like that action. Meanwhile, Shelton clear. Now Nick Mills gets clear, going to push Tommy Fox back into the 6th position. And now look at Gambrill. Him and Binish having a little battle. Gambrill smacked the wall, and they are lined up tight behind the rookie, as you can see just how close it is. And Kyle Lynott, early trouble, got that repair. Now he's pushed his way up into 12th. And then that little group right there, that's probably some of the best action on the track.
Yeah, these guys are racing really hard from pretty much Gambrill on back. You can see, looks like they're starting to pull away. 923 getting a bit of a gap on AJ. But then from Sam Milliken on back through Kyle Lynott. Look at how tight these guys are. Look at Vulpes. He's making a move to the inside of Buell.
Why not? David Buell plowed up the track, hit the wall earlier, so Vulpes has to know if he can apply a little bit of pressure, it might throw the air off of Buell just enough to send him up. Oh, and Vulpes immediately brings it back down, got the aid of 988. Kyle Lynott trying to push his way, falls back into line with David Buell. That is the battle for 10th. No stage points awarded here, but anytime you're in that top 10, you know you're in striking distance. And here we go, side by side. Gonna get the assistance from the 988. He's clear. Lynott goes with him. Buell all the way up, almost touches the wall, and now he's under attack from the 61 of Schofield.
And then right behind them, Matt Novella and David Owens are starting to cut their way back through the field. From those early pit stops. Look at them. They're now just inside the top 15, I believe. Yep, we see them 15th, 16th. So look at them. Looks like Zach Williams. They're trying to line him up now to get into 14th and 15th.
Yep. The thing I'm looking at on my meter is also where the big gaps are. These are great battles up front, but wherever a big gap is, you can assume that the trucks are starting to pile up a little bit behind them as well. Oh, and here we go. Another contender looking on the inside. That's Novella trying to hold off. Zach Williams picks the better line, and look at that speed of Novella. Joe, we talked about Matt before the race. He won a week ago, Monday night at Echo Park. Got a podium last week. This guy continuing to apply pressure. And, you know, this week, nobody's knocking Matt around. It might be too early to say that, but that 56 is still clean. Oh, that's not clean. Look at Gambrill around. Looks like David Buell might have been involved in that.
Man, do you see the smoke? It looks like, I think your boy there, Novella, was able to get through that one unscathed, but some other guys not so.
I would have felt bad. I would have felt bad if I'm sitting there saying he's unscathed and then he gets whacked.
Yeah, so let's go take a peek there. What caused the caution?
All right, looks like AJ Binish is going to bring it in on him and says, "Hey, can you keep it straight if I tap your right rear or your left rear?" And Milliken says, "No." Oh.
That was a close call.
Well, looks like Lynott didn't leave a whole lot of room, and Vulpes made contact there with Gambrel. Let's take another look. So Benish hits him, taps the wall, gets it straight. Milliken comes in, says, can't come down here.
Oh.
And yeah, Lynott, not a lot of space there, left it wide open. So Vulpes, he had to choose imminent death or a tap on Gambrel. So let's keep an eye on that right front of the 13. Lots of people going to take advantage of this opportunity to bring it down into pit road. Looks like Brenner is going to keep it out on the track. Nick Mills is going to move up into second, but Kelly and Jewel taking the opportunity. There's Fox, Benish, Sam Milliken is down in there. Schofield, Gambrel, of course, Ogletree, Smith, Craven, Neal, Justin White. Hey, there's your lucky dog. Got to be happy. That'll get him back on the lead lap.
So while all that was going on there as well, there was actually another incident that happened at the same time the caution came out. Your boy Alex McCorder was not having a good time with his damage. I think he's coming here to get some more of a fix, and we're going to show why.
All right, well, we're keeping an eye on the 15 here. He's looking good. He got in there a little early. Oh, no! Hootie whack.
That's back end of the 27 truck, and then he hits the inside wall for good measure. This is the same exact time that the caution came out for the 923 in that incident.
Wow, so that's Jared Ogletree in the 27. He takes it right in the rear from the 15 of McWhorter. McWhorter already working with a damaged truck. Ogletree taps the wall. Nowhere to go there. Little racing incident, unfortunately, for McWhorter. Golly, maybe he balanced it out there, Joe. He had the front end had damage, and now the back end's got damage. Maybe that'll complete the entire aero package for him here today. So, under caution here on lap number 26. These guys can make about, what do you think, about 48 laps of fuel. So at this point, I would think we're looking at 2 stops the rest of the way. Top 3 trucks have not pitted. David Buell in 6th has not pitted as well. You might be wondering, who's your fastest mover right now? It is the 51, Jerry Rose, the rookie. He is up 11 into 20th because he pitted once back on lap number 1. Lap 15. Looks like he just took fuel, though, not tires. Other fast movers, Zach Williams up 10 spots into the 18th place. Williams as well. It looks like he's been into the pits twice, taking fuel back on lap number 2. How do you get 2 pit stops in 2 laps?
You come down, you put on the first lap, and then you come down and you put on the second lap. That's how you do it there, Eugene.
Wow, Smoking Joe didn't even have to take his shoes off to do that math, ladies and gentlemen. Amazement here in the booth. All right, Nick Mills now on the outside lane with David Brenner. Nobody in front of him, so Mills will have the clean air depending on this jump. Away Brenner goes, gets a good push from Brandon Shelton. Shelton spins his tires, touches Mills just a little bit, but they're going to keep going. Oh, looks like Gambrel didn't get off. A lot of cars pick up black flags. That's going to get cleared. Looking now in the back, Buell off pace is really low. We'll see what he's going to do there for speed. That might have been him clearing black flags, costing him that position. Up front, you can see Brenner now with Nick Mills in chase. And Jared Kelly says, hey, are you in distress? Let me go under you, under the apron. And that creates some excitement. Single file backward, though. That is Jared Kelly in 12th, Buell in 13th, Peltz in 14th, AJ Benish in 15th. So up front, they're getting closer. And are we backwards again?
No. It's a black screen there, Mean Gene. We're making sure.
Oh, I thought it was the one on the right is what they see. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is the one on the right. Is it backwards for you? We haven't some technical troubles.
I was looking at the one on the right, and for me, that was a frozen car. All right, so David Brenner continuing to push his way around the track. Meanwhile, Jared Kelly making great gains now. Got to be excited. He's pushed that truck back up into the 11th spot. Now he's got his eyes set on Jax Duvall. So we'll see if the 55 can get back into this race. David Buell now making a move under that 51. That 51 still on old tires. You used pitting strategy to move up, but now the faster drivers making their way around. Oh, no. Speaking of faster drivers, that looks like is that the Justin White again involved?
Yeah, Justin White, it looks like he is not having a good time. Just got back on the lead lap and is immediately in something else, unfortunately,
Oh,
right
look,
for him.
I'll tell you who's going to be happy, though, is going to be Eric Gambrell. Gambrell being shown a lap down. I think he might be your lucky dog. Gambrell back in the 28th position. Yeah, that contact there between the 42 of Timothy Darby and Justin White, the 28th. Let's take a look, Joe.
Yep, so here you coming off too, and yeah, just pretty much the same thing that happened earlier in the race with Rendo and I believe who was that, the 96, I think that the two of them made contact, right?
Yep.
Just the same kind of situation there. One truck just gets tight, gets in the wall, comes down, hits the other truck. In this case, it spun out the truck on the inside, not the truck on the outside, though. Good job by everybody to not T-bone him. I'll give him that.
This is an interesting circumstance now, Joe. We're on lap number 32 here. So I would think taking tires is a real possibility. You know, if you break this thing up, 48 laps-ish, and then a few bonus laps that have now been accounted for by the cautions, you would think now is a possibility to come in, get a full tank of gas, and take 4 tires. So we're going to keep an eye on some of these trucks and see if any of those fellas doing that. Looks like Zach Engel in that number 47. He came down, had a 15.2 second time. I think he did. David Buell as well. So lots of fellas taking this opportunity to roll it on down and take them some tires. What is that? Jared Kelly? Looks like on lap 25, he came down, got him 4 tires. And above him, you can see Matt Novella on lap 15-second pit stop. So I think Matty actually came in. He might have taken tires there on lap number 15, Joe.
Yeah, that would be a pretty bold move, but I think it might be working out for him. He's up to 6th right now. The way the cautions are falling, it might work out for him.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it continues to rain cautions. Right now, a couple of early ones. We're here on lap number 33 of the Good Food Fast Waffle House 170 live on the Vortex Racing Network. Mean Gene Money, too wide in the booth with Smokin' Joe doing all your production needs here today. This race, of course, brought to you by Joe Quinn. Thank you, Joe, for your sponsorship. Enjoy bringing this race. Joe picked this race. And not sure if he's a Waffle House employee or if he just loves eating there, because the Good Food Fast Waffle House 170 here live on the Vortex Racing Network. Bonfire Race League, Big Truckin' Tuesday, race number 10 of our 13 race season, starting to wrap it up, getting ready to run into the playoffs, where that final showdown will occur at Chicagoland. No winning, you're in, so you need them points. Nobody needs them points more than those top 5 drivers, especially Kyle Lynott sitting on that cutoff line. Pace truck is out of the way. David Brenner is going to be the control truck, keeping an eye on him on the inside. Away we go. Pulls away from Mills. Mills and Brandon Shelton, they touch each other. They touch the wall. That's a lot of touching going on. That's going to let Joe Volpus get up into the 2nd position. Finally, Mills side by side with Kyle Lynott. Mills riding the rail, uses momentum, finally pushes his way past Nick Mills into 3rd place. David Brenner leads them going into turn 3.
Yep, that was a great restart from that inside line. Brenner Volpus able to take 1-2. Nick Mills able to settle into 3rd there. And then you see behind them, it's on. David Owens underneath Brandon Sheldon for the top 5.
Yeah, top 5 all battling. In fact, you can look back. The top 12, 13, top 17, all single file. Looks like Darby down on the apron, diving out of the way. Doesn't want anything to do with that kind of foolishness. Great battling here. Looks like Brandon Shelton going to take a shot on that inside, and he gets eaten up by the field. You can see right there now he's losing positions to Zach Williams making battle. Oh, and look at Kelly come up and push him in close to the wall. I thought that was a Duval move, but it looks like Jared Kelly taking a page out of the Florida man's book. Oh, and they're spinning again. Come on, hold it straight, boys.
Oh, Nick Mills is backwards on the track.
Hey, you can't park there. Mate. Hey, mate, you can't park there.
Oh, there he goes. Looks like
Well, Nick Mills has been involved in 3 incidents here today. That truck's still rolling, though. A good thing he owns an insurance company. That way he can just sign off on any incidents that occur out there. We talked about these cautions, and we continue to see them. Any damage on that 13? He had an early scare with Gambrel, and looks like he might have been, the 13 might have been part of that. Of course, Vulpes running a beautiful VRN, Big Truck and Tuesday vehicle right there.
Yeah, so let's pull up their replay. As it looks like, oh wait, before I pull it up, let's just see if these guys are actually pitting this time or not.
Oh, they like to pretend, don't they?
Oh, we're coming down this time, baby.
Yeah, we're committed.
All right, let's pull up.
Going to turn the lead over to Kyle Lynott.
Let's pull that replay up for you while they pit here, Mean Gene. Oh boy.
Nowhere to go. Oh, look at that. Plowed right up. Vulpes not letting off the throttle, and that's going to draw contact.
Yeah, I don't really, yeah.
Nowhere to go there.
It was a tough break there. I don't know if the 20 was in a hurry or what.
Yeah, he's in a hurry now. Yeah, you can see right there. Great run, rubs him just a little bit, and then plows right up the track. Contact, nowhere to go. That's going to bring the 20 around backwards, and you cannot park there. Nick Mills facing the wrong way. Caution here on lap number 37. So few cars taking this opportunity to come in. This is another great opportunity to take tires. This is a place where you could take tires, and we're going to see some guys do that. Looks like 16 cars stayed out. So many of them had pitted on lap 31. You might think, who's your risk takers? Well, Kyle Lynott in the lead, last pitted on lap number 2. Zach Williams in 4th, last pitted on lap number 2. Jerry Rose last pitted on lap number 15, and he is in 6th place. After that, everybody else at least pitted on lap number 25. So you got 3 guys there taking chances. As far as going straight or going backwards, I'd keep an eye on that 51. He wasn't very fast in practice, and so you imagine the cars are going to be very wary around that rookie starting on the outside. And look around him. Jared Kelly, AJ Binish, Zach Engel, all fast trucks. So one little hiccup, we could see a wreck right there in the middle of all of that action.
Hey, Mean Gene, which is shinier, Jerry Rose's head or his rims on his truck?
Well, chrome dome, chrome rims, I think it's all the same right there. We'll just have to see exactly what happens. Oh, Jared Kelly blinking at us right there. Just a little winky wink. So, hey, he got that row right there. Jared Kelly blinking, Jerry Rose rookie, and we'll have to see how it goes. All right, pace car out of the way. Kyle Lynott, he is going to be your control car. George Jewell on the front row with him. Finally, Jewell making his way up. And away we go. Look at that jump by Lynott. Taking it away. Bad start there by Zach Williams. Outside row suffering. That's going to let Binish and Kelly get up into the 3rd and 4th position. Williams now holding on to 5th. Zach Engel behind him. The rookie Rose. Jared Ogletree early recovery back into 8th. Tommy Fox 9th. David Buell 10. And look behind them then. It's side-by-side racing.
Yep, here comes Sam Milliken making a pass on Edward Peltz. That's the pass for 11th place, so just outside the top 10. You see as well. Look at Justin White. Look at how much he's recovered. He was a lap down from that first lap incident. He's back up to 13th. And then the first guy in fresh tires. Look at how fast David Brenner is on those freshies.
Yeah, David Brenner taking that opportunity. That was the time to go ahead and take them. I thought 31 was the time to do it. No, 37, a much better time to do it. Other guys that came in took tires on 37, Matt Novella, Brandon Shelton, David Owens, Nick Mills. Keep an eye on all of those fellas who took them on 37. 31, though, those guys also got the sexy ride with those 10 new tires on lap number 31. Zach Engel being one of those running in 5th.
Yep, and also we have a new leader here. George Jewell was able to get around Kyle Lynott and he's starting to open it up just a little bit here. As you see Kyle overdrive in turn 3. I think that's a little bit of a different line, Mean Gene. I don't know if it's going to work, though.
Well, you know, Lynott, he's still on the opening tires, so he's just trying to make this thing ride around with as little movement as possible. You can see him right there, came in a little bit early. That forces him up high. He's going to roll it as much as he can, and I saw a lot of guys using in practice. But with Jared Kelly on there, if he rolls that thing too much, if he breaks too early going into 3 and 4, he's going to get a tailpipe full of the 55.
Yep, and also right behind them, you saw Zach Engel. He was able to get around AJ Binish, and now he's up into 4th place. I know you were touching on his tires there, talking about how he's on some pretty fresh tires, and he's taking good advantage of them. You know, words are hard to say, Mean Gene. And he's starting to close in there on the battle for 2nd.
Yep, drawing it in right there. Now also, how about another guy on 37? That's David Brenner. This guy pulling away from the little group that he's on. You can see Rose has already fall back into 10th, about to get passed by Milliken and Justin White as well. But Brenner on those newer tires just pushing forward. Next guy on his radar, Jared Ogletree. Ogletree came in on lap number 25. So definitely faster tires. Brenner led early, took the pole. Here he is making his charge on lap number 45.
Yep, and here comes Zach Engel on Kyle Lynott as well. Those fresher tires, 30-lap fresher tires for Zach Engel are going to start to pay some dividends here, I think, to get around Kyle, who's struggling, it looks like, on these older tires.
Now, if we stay green, all of a sudden you got to start wondering, why didn't these guys take tires on lap number 37? We've already put 9 more laps on since that opportunity to take tires at 37. So depending on how long this thing goes green, those guys that passed on that opportunity, they could be regretting it. You know, Kyle Lynott, sure, he started in first on this last restart, but now fading back. Last pit time for Lynott, time on the track, 31:24. Meanwhile, Jewel ran 30.84. Jared Kelly in second, 30.73. So you can already see 0.5 of a second difference for Lynott not taking those fresh tires. So these drivers who didn't pit, you're taking chances. You're hoping for another caution, but all of a sudden, here we are 10 laps after that last caution, wondering, oh no, did I make the wrong call?
Yeah, and you can see just how much these lap times are starting to fall off. You can see Jared Ogletree in that group. It looks like their lap times are a little off. So I think they're in a heated battle back here. You can see it right there for 8th place. Sam Milliken, Justin White right behind him. And David Owens making a pass, it looked like, on the 89, got loose. The 89 also got the wall. So we'll see if Zach Williams is able to keep it going straight. It looks like he was able to recover after getting the wall there.
Yeah, that wall gets closer and closer the further we run on these tires, especially coming out of 1 and 2. Everybody knows you got to hit the brakes in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2 seems to be a dangerous spot for these drivers as they come around there and just try to roll it as best they can. And right there, Tommy Fox hits the wall coming out of 3 and 4 as I'm keeping an eye on Williams in that 89 car, that whole group doing battle. Up there, there's David Buell, and now Brenner making his moves with those faster tires. David Brenner now moving up into 4th.
Yeah, he's coming at a hurry. Zach Engel tried to make the move on Kyle Lynott, got loose, and he lost some positions there. So now he's going to have his work cut out for him. Brenner going to have to shape up his chance now to take over top 3 spot and get back into this battle for the race win.
David Buell last took tires on lap 31, Brenner on 37, so 6-lap difference. Oh, and look how high. And the caution, it's madness.
Oh,
that's not Nick Mills in the wreck again, is it?
Oh no.
Nick Mills toes. Brandon Shelton facing the wrong way.
Oh, no. Oh no. Mean Gene, I gotta. We saw that last second there, and it was not pretty. What happened? You could see
a lot of damage out there. I can hear Brandon Shelton asking for the EOL, Matthew Smith asking for the EOL.
I don't even know how he got that thing. Look at how broken that thing. How did he even get it to roll?
And I'll tell you what, all those guys that I said are wondering if they made a bad call not pitting on lap 37, I promise you they're all coming in now. And look, there's some of the leader bunch coming in. That's Jewel and Kelly going to go ahead and roll it in, rethink their tire strategy. Both those boys last came in back on 31, so they're already making another appearance. I wonder if this is fuel or let's see, Jewel going to take those right sides.
Like tires there, Mean Gene.
Yep, Kelly also. Oh, look at Jewel taking both, and Kelly as well, taking 4 freshies. It's Tommy Fox rolling in right in front of them, going to hit that second pit stall here at Darlington. Great racing so far. Here we go. Nick Mills, he's in the blue truck, and that's the 2 Old Bay of Shelton. Oh, he touches him. He touches him again. Oh, what a spin. Back onto the track goes Shelton. Ooh. Parted the Red Seas. Oh, my. That's Matt Schofield coming in, getting the touch.
Man.
There's Tim Darby going to sneak through there in the tide. Nick Mills has parked it as well. Nick Mills calling it a day after that last incident. Wow, that was heavy contact.
Yeah, look at this. The 96 truck just the hole closes and, huge contact.
You know, why hit one of them when you can get both? You know what I'm saying? Like, why only hit one truck if you could hit 2? It's a 2-for-1. It's a BOGO. Woo! That was rough right there. He parted him, didn't he? That's one way to part the Red Sea.
Here's Schofield's view of it all. You can see that contact, just nowhere to go.
Yeah, Matt Schofield, he's battling for playoffs right now, does not need to get caught up in other people's incidents, and that's what he did right there. So again, just the 2 of Brandon Shelton coming in. Mills is off pace just a little bit, and there they go. Rough break. Couple of hard charging drivers, and bam, here comes Smith. Schofield is well caught up in there. Rough break right there for that group of drivers. Lap number 53 underway, under caution, as we see up front now, David Brenner being shown as your leader. New set of opportunities for guys to take pits. George Jewell, Jared Kelly, Kyle Lynott, all coming in on lap 51 to take tires. Jewell back in 12th, Kelly 13th, Lynott 14th, AJ Finish right behind them in 15th. So let's see what those guys from 12th back can do with those 4 freshies on lap 51. And there goes David Brenner. Away we go. Got David Buell on the outside trying to keep up with them, but that is going to allow Brenner to just pull away. Brenner with a great start right there. Milliken now powers his way up into second, getting by Buell. Going to bring Matt Novella with him. Novella been on fire for 10 days. Going to keep that fire going. Buell fading back into fourth. Justin White, he's repaired that truck enough. Got that number 28 Toyota back into fifth. Here comes David Owens now being shown in the 6th place. Jared Ogletree keeps it rolling. Joseph Vulpes in 8th. Duvall battling George Jewell and Jared Kelly. That's going to round out your top 10. Side-by-side racing here. Look at Lynott wiggling under Kelly and Duvall.
Yeah, he's making an aggressive move, trying to take advantage of his new tires. Look at him go. He's going to get 10th place, looks like, here from Duvall, with a little help from Jared Kelly.
Kelly now side-by-side with Duvall. Feeds up the track just a little bit. But, and look, Duvall let off. I've never seen that, Joe. Duvall let off a little bit. Lets Kelly up in there, and they continue to race up front. Look at Ogletree off the pace. That's going to put Vulpes past him and force Lynott right into the back. George Jewell actually touching Ogletree. Ogletree up into the wall in front of Lynott. Jewell dives down to avoid it 3 wide for a moment. Jewell back onto the track now, side by side with Jake Johnson.
Yeah, and then back up here, Jared Ogletree, Kyle Lynott still battling, but they're going to sort it out. George Jewell, though, after that incident there coming off too, loses a bunch of track time there and positions, all the way back to 13th.
George Jewell running 13th after that almost travesty. And some more activity. Look at Duvall. Ogletree off pace again. Jewell gets by him. Duvall. Here goes Jake Johnson. Eric Gambrill now going by. The 27 of Ogletree falling backwards. Something's going on in that Chevrolet, Joe.
Yeah, if we take a look here at the last time he pitted, it was on lap 25 there, and it was a long pit stop, most likely to fix damage. So I think he's nursing a truck with some damage and older tires, and it's just not a good combination. And now look behind him. Look at this battle going on for 17th right behind him.
Oh, the 51 trying to peek under Schofield. He pushes the 57 by. Schofield was holding off Tommy Fox. Fox and Rose finally get by. Ogletree next on the list. You're right, Ogletree last pitted on lap 25. So everybody's on fresher tires than the 27 of Ogletree. Right now behind him, Rose and Fox both on lap 51 pitting. So you got to imagine they're going to close on him pretty quick. Meanwhile, let's get back up to the front. Look at this battle. Volpus and Lynott. Jared Kelly behind them. Volpus using that outside lane, but Lynott taking advantage of tires. And here comes Kelly.
No.
He says, I'm done with you.
He's around. He's backwards on the front stretch. No caution.
You can't park there. You can't park there.
Still no caution.
You can't park there. Come on, man. What's he doing? Nick Mail showed you can't park on the outside. And now Kyle Lynott showing you can't park on the inside. No caution. That is a rough break right there for the 988. He won last week, and then this week now finds himself backwards after contact with the 55 of Kelly. Quite unfortunate. That is going to push him all the way back to 23rd position. And more frightening, he is 23 seconds behind the leader. Definitely on the radar to get past. Action on the track. AJ Benish now doing battle with George Jewell and Joe Volpus. Great activity up here as Benish 6, Jewell 7, Volpus 8. A little bit back, you can see David Buell still in the picture. I'll tell you what, David Buell has had an interesting race. He's had some great starts up front, faded, and then charged. So you got to wonder exactly what his strategy is here today. But one thing's for sure, it's top 10.
Oh, look at this battle right behind him. Oh, Zach Engel able to keep it straight. Oh, the 84 got the wall. Oh, and he almost got the 923.
That's that rookie Gambrel trying to make it work in that old school Jeff Gordon paint scheme. This is his last week running in the 3-digit 900 number. I'll tell you what, if I am right in front of Kelly, if I'm Zach Engel, I'm going to get out of the way, man. I don't want that front bumper. I saw what he just did to Kyle Lynott. I'm going to get the heck out of his way. David Buell, Eric Gambrel waiting to see what's going to happen here. Zach Engel was the second fastest car in practice. He's got great speed. Now he's got Kelly looking below him. Kelly going to make the pass. Smart move by Engel to burp it right there and let the 55 go by, in my opinion.
Yep, Jared Kelly, we saw what happened a couple laps ago when the 988 got a little tight. Him and the 988 made some contact, and unfortunately Kyle and I ended up backwards, now 24 seconds off the pace. Jared able to recover. He's only in ninth, though, 7 1/4 seconds out of the lead. So definitely lost some time there. And speaking of some time lost, Joe Volpus is falling like a rock, I think, right now.
Well, you got to start wondering about tire wear. He last pitted on lap number 37, so almost 28 laps on those tires. So at some point, going to take some wear. Up ahead of him, Justin White, last pitted on lap number 31. I imagine that he is going to start to come under fire very soon. You can see Owens, Benish, and Jewell right there, that little group. Owens last pitted on 37, but Jewell and Benish, they pitted on lap 51, so only 14 laps on their tires. Got to expect to see them come around. You know, and I'm loving one thing about this race. Dirty air, of course it exists, Joe, but it's not the whole story. You know, tires are more of a story today than dirty air, and that's what we've seen with that aero package of the Cup. Here in the trucks, we're actually getting to see a little bit more of the pure driving. Speaking of pure driving, how about Gambrel? What a show for that rookie. You know, he got caught up. He was actually a lap down, and now that 923 is running up in 10th spot, so good for him.
Yep, he's up to 10th. Right now, running right behind the 47 truck of Zach Engel and the struggling car of Joe Volpus. We also saw another truck that was struggling that was running up front. Sam Milliken, he's starting to fall backwards as well. He just fell out of the top 10 back to 11th through all of that battle. And I believe if we take a look here, he pitted a caution actually before Volpus. He pitted last on 31, Volpus on 37. So those two on a little older tires, not able to really hold on to their stuff, it looks like. As you see, Volpus losing another spot. Sam already down to 11. Looks like, though, he found some reprieve with where he's running on the track. And I think Joe's about to have the same.
Yeah, last lap 32.14 for Volpus. Got to get it going a little bit faster than what he just did. You can see behind him 31.20, or ahead of him, Gambrel 31.24. Actually 31.08 of George Jewell in fifth, fastest lap that last time. So Volpus needs to figure out, and that's what happens with this tire breakdown. Once they start to go, it is painful to see just how slow those trucks are going to go once you lose that ability. And that's exactly what we were seeing from Milliken falling back into eighth as well. Milliken last pitted lap 31, so he's feeling the pain. Tell you though, Justin White last pitted on 31, still managing to make it work. That last lap 31.66, much slower than George Jewell charging. So Jewell taking advantage of those tires, as well as AJ Binish. Matt Novella still running in second, last pitted on 37 with our leader Brenner. So good to see him continue that hot streak as he finds himself in second place chasing our leader.
Yep, and we're fast approaching actually a chance at some green flag pit stops there, Mean Gene. You know what I think? I think this green flag run calls for a little crank it up. What do you think?
Let's do it. Oh, yeah. All right, looks like the front four are all within just a tenth of each other. You can see Brenner holding on, Novella, but now Binish looking on the outside. Binish with 15-lap fresher tires trying to take advantage. But look at this, what an escort as Novella tries to pinch him up behind them. Finally, Binish gets by, gonna bring Jewell with him as well. And now Brenner under attack by the fresher tires of Binish. Binish takes it up high. Brenner with a great block up there. Jewell looking down low. Now Novella following. Looks like he wants to follow Jewell. Binish takes it up high. They're slicing and dicing right here. I'll tell you, I went to a hibachi, and that's exactly what it looks like right now. These chefs are dicing up the shrimp.
Here we go. George Jewell going to set it up for turn one with his fresher tires. Oh, David Brenner gets the wall.
Oh, and he makes a Binish slow down and Novella. If you're Jewell, you got to love seeing that in your rearview mirror. You went from third place to a 1 second lead in one straightaway. What a move there to put George Jewell into the lead. Back there, they still haven't figured it out. They're just going to be losing time as now Jewell with the 1.3 second lead. And Joe, that thing's just getting bigger and bigger. These three boys finally figuring it out. Binish, Brenner, Novella. Binish finally getting by, but if you're AJ, you got to be sad. You're on the same tire strategy of the 36 Chevrolet of Jewel, but after that little fiasco and Brenner hitting the wall, you find yourself 1.4 seconds back of the 36 Chevrolet of Jewel.
Yeah, and if we're looking at those lap times as well here, Mean Gene, this last lap that they just completed, look at how much faster George Jewel was, almost 2.5 tenths faster than Finish. So not only does he have a head start on Finish now, George Jewel, but he's also going to start pulling that advantage out more and more. Like, it's up to 1.8. It's just growing and growing every corner, Mean Gene.
Yeah, this guy's on fire right now. Jewel just finding something. Last pitted on 51, so he's got 27 laps on those tires. Got to be impressed with Justin White. Last pitted on lap 31, running in 5th place. So great job for him on those older tires. You got to go all the way back to Sam Milliken in 12th for another driver on old tires like that. And then David Buell. Buell also fading back, now finds himself in the 15th position on those older tires. You can see the lap car of Stephen Neal ahead of him. Only 20 cars on the lead lap, and now it looks like Zach Williams also going to bring it down. Zach Williams was in 20th. Now, though, coming into the pits, he's going to go a lap down. You can make about 48 laps on here, so I would say we're looking at lap 99 as far as Jewel could push this thing. If you can make 48, though, that's what, 96? I'd say you're almost in that window for just one more pit stop.
Yeah, right now you're right on the cusp. So Zach Williams, Morris Craven, Stephen Neal, they're all going to be very tight. If they want to make it to the end, they're going to need maybe a caution or to save a little bit. I think the pit window isn't really going to open if this thing goes green for another 5 laps or so before you start seeing a lot of people come down. Mainly those guys that last pitted around 30 to 37.
So lots of action, lots of strategy now coming into the picture for these drivers as they're starting to count backwards and figure out exactly where they're going to come into this. Meanwhile, top mover on the track, AJ Binish, being shown in 2nd place on the freshest tires on the track of guys that have not pitted recently. Last pitted on lap number 51, 31 laps on these tires. You know, you had to expect to put about 40 on your tires, because remember, you had the one on the tire at the beginning of the race, and then you had the 3 in the pit. So you kind of were expecting to try to make it about 40. We're coming up on that number right now. So next pit stop, I'm expecting every truck to take 4 freshies as well as all the fuel. Guys now miking up, talking about making pits. Looks like Darby in the 42 is about to pit. Morris Craven is down there right now. This is lap 83, so we're really close to making that mark.
Yeah, I want to shout out Eric Gambrell here right before this next pit stop. Look at him, Gambrell now up to 5th here in just his 3rd race, and he's going to prompt Justin White to come down pit road this time, actually, by getting around him.
Yeah, that's kind of your indicator. If you see somebody just straight passing you on speed, that lets you know if the 5th place guy can pass you, that means the top 3 are probably running away from you. Might as well come down, get some fuel. Justin White going to bring that 28 Toyota down into the pit and get some 4 freshies and a full tank of fuel. Up front now, George Jewell still looking strong. Boy, he's got that lead out to 2.76 second. He's got nothing but clean air and blue skies in front of him as he continues to lay down hot laps. AJ Binish, nobody behind him, but still trying to push as hard as he can. Last laps, very similar, 6/100ths of a second faster for Binish, but that is not going to do it in a race like this. Matt Novella, David Brenner, still lap 37 tires continuing to run up there. And then you come to the rookie Gambrell. He's on the same strategy as our leaders. Here comes Novella bringing the 56 truck down into the pits. Hey, now's as good a time as any. Might as well short pit, see if you can make up a little bit of space on those leaders. You know, if that guy's that far ahead of you and you run the same strategy as him, nothing's going to change. Bring it in, get freshies, see what you can do with a short pit.
Yep, you see some other guys coming down as well. David Buell getting service. Sam Milliken getting some service here as well. As Jerry Rose, you see him in his pit stall. He's already out and about, going back out onto the track. So all those guys getting service. David Brenner, after you saw that big moment he had earlier, now he's going to come down and take his potentially final pit stop of the race. The money stop, as they call it there, Mean Gene. I'm sure you know a lot about money.
Money, 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 money. You know it, my friend. You know, ain't nothing but a Benjamins out here. Here comes David Brenner getting it done down in the pit. Other people on the mic saying they're going to make a move. I think I just heard Gambrel bring it up, talking about he's going to come in soon. Zach Engel ahead of him. Going to see as it continues to run. 12 drivers on the lead lap waiting for this rotation to finally cycle around and see who it's going to be. Right now, Manovella looks like he is the first truck that came down. He pitted on lap 85, currently in 12th, so he would be the first guy once this rotation comes around at this point. Here comes Jax Duval now making it, and he's going to come down into the pits, going to go ahead and fall a lap down just like everybody else. As you see Jewel and Benish sneak on by. Man, look at that lead now. Jewel, 3.78 seconds. He was actually 0.2 of a second faster than Benish that last lap.
Yeah, and I'm looking at these pit times, Mean Gene. A 25-second pit stop for David Brenner. I think the fuel man forgot to put the fuel connector from the fuel can into the car.
That's no good.
And I think his fuel man is going to be joining Alex Bowman's pit crew on the unemployment line after tonight's race.
Well, you know what? Maybe Alan Guffinson can go ahead and be the chief of that crew, because that boy needs to be fired just as quick. Hey, when you make your guys pit when they're in the lead, that's no bueno. Speaking of leading, how about Jewel now pushing it to 3.8 seconds? Luckily, Benish got that last lap to about the same, but not enough for Benish to close the gap. There's Milliken going around, and look at the advantage of fresh tires. That's what you're seeing right there as Sam Milliken going to make his way around right there. Milliken, 30.47. That guy's running 1.6 seconds faster a lap, and that's that tire break off.
Yeah, and that's why you're seeing some of these guys going to change their strategy up and pit now instead of running it out of fuel. You see Jared Kelly here. He's going to come down pit road for that exact reason. And he's going to go a lap down, of course, along with most of the other guys. So right now I'm looking at the guys that haven't pitted yet, right? So that's your leader, George Jewell. He last pitted on lap 50. Pretty much everybody that hasn't pitted yet, last pitted on lap 51 is what I'm seeing here. So that's George Jewell, AJ Benish, Zach Engel, Eric Ambrell, Tommy Fox, Kyle Lynott, and then Alex McCorder with his damage. He fell a lap down trying to fix some of it. So a caution right now would pretty much trap him a lap down with most of the other guys that have pitted. So he would be able to pit, but he'd also be a lap down because he's not going to be in that lucky dog spot. So I'm sure he wants a caution, though, so he doesn't go too down.
Yeah, you can see also now Volpus coming into the picture. McCorder trying to make it as far as he can, but Volpus running that 30.73 on his last lap. McCorder with a 32.43, so 1.5 seconds the difference there. And looks like Jewel finally going to bring her down into the pits here on lap number 93. We are racing to lap number 130, so not going to be a problem for him to make it all the way to the end as we start to rotate around. And now you start to look at the pit times. You start to look at the last time people pitted and wonder what's going to happen. Novella pitted on lap 85, currently being shown in 7th. So we'll see exactly how far of a lead Jewel had once Jewel comes back out onto the track. I mean, this is sad. Jewel's been in there for a while. He's rolling again, but he's keeping so many guys a lap down. Pretty amazing there, the speed of him. Finally, here comes Gambrell and AJ Benish. Going to turn the lead over to Zach Engel. Zach going to get him some points for leading the lap. And then Zach going to bring it right on down. Going to turn that lead over to Tommy Fox. Fox with a 15-second lead over Kyle Lynott. So now, if you're Tommy Fox, you qualified second, you had decent speed. Do you take the chance here, Joe? Do you just run this thing as far as you can, praying for a caution?
I mean, with all these guys on different tires, pretty much, and the fact that this track is very loose, the chances of a caution, I'd say, are moderately high. So, you don't want to be the caution though there. You see Tommy Fox got on the wall pretty hard coming out of turn 2. And I think, no, never mind. He's going to stay out. He thought about it, but he's going to keep trucking along here because he's only 8 trucks on the lead lap. AJ Binish right now, the next one in line to get his lap back.
He last pitted on 51, so if you figure 48 to 50 laps, he could make it to about 101. So Fox has pushed this thing about as far as he can, praying for a caution right about now as he is keeping an eye on what's going on around him. Battles that he might see it, Kelly and Milliken very close to each other, or Duvall and Milliken, I should say, very close to each other. Maybe something will happen there. You can see Duvall diving up underneath. Novella making battle for the third place spot with Justin White. Perhaps something could happen there, but those fellas on newer tires. You know who I'm impressed with waiting till the end? AJ Binish pitted lap 94. George Jewell pitted 93. So even though White and Novella ahead of George Jewell at the moment, that 2-second lead that they've got could creep away, considering that man is on 10-lap fresher tires.
Yeah, and if we take a look here at the last lap time right now, at this moment in time, we see Novella 30.78, Justin White 30.84, George Jewell 30.26. And he wasn't even the fastest guy on the track that last lap. Look at all the way back in 11th place, Zach Engel with a 30.04 that last time. Man, he was blistering fast.
Yeah, not a surprise. He was second fastest in qualifying. So to see him doing that, not a shocker at all as he's making his way around there. How about this, though? Also, top speed last time, 183 compared to some of these guys only going 178, 175. That's a neat stat. I've never seen that on my chart before.
Yeah, that is definitely interesting. Looking up front, though, we got the front 2. They still haven't pitted there. And those old tires of Kyle Lynott are starting to catch up. And look at that. Here goes Matt Novella making the dive in turn 1. Gets around him very easily. Will Justin White have the same luck? Looks like
Lynott.
Oh, my.
Well, George's race almost ended right there as Kyle Lynott had a little bit of a scare moment. Lynott, remember, he last pitted on 51. Going to need to come in and get fresh tires. Meanwhile, now Matt Novella going to take over the lead from Justin White. Got a 0.4 of a second. George Jewell in third, 0.6 of a second behind them. But boy, Jewell is charging. You can see him right there. Boy, he is sniffing Justin White. I don't think it's going to take him very long to get around on those quicker tires.
Justin White, though, very, very good at being able to place his trucks in the right spots. He's going to make it very difficult for Jewell to complete this, but he's able to get it done there off turn 4. Only 3/4 of a second and 29 laps left. With those fresher tires, I don't think Novella's going to be able to hold on for that long.
No, and this is the sad part about waiting and coming in early. You were real happy with that short pit letting you come in and lead those laps. But all of a sudden, you're looking at a guy running 0.5 of a second faster than you. I mean, that's half a freaking second.
Yeah, and I saw this last Thursday night, the Thursday Thriller Truck Series. Unfortunately, we weren't able to broadcast that this week. Matt Tucker was able to get a huge run on Joe Volkes by pitting later than him, and was able to blow past him and go on to win the race in the closing stages just by having fresher tires. I think we're going to see the same thing here tonight if this race goes green and clean as George Jewell makes the clean pass for the lead.
George Jewell taking over right now. Last pitted on lap number 93. Got the freshest tires out there. Next guy with fresh tires A.J. Benish, but A.J. 7 seconds behind him. Benish gonna get around David Owens, but he is far behind, gonna sneak through Morris Craven. Look at Owens, though. Owens ain't gonna give it up easy.
He's going to challenge him really hard here coming off turn 2. Doesn't get the wall, so he's going to able to stick maybe on that right rear and have something into turn 3. Let's see, can AJ clear him? It looks like he's going to get it done.
Yeah, but Owen's going to look below him. High line is the way to go here, especially later in a run. AJ going to clear the 8 of Owens. And now AJ Benish going to take over 4th, but still 8.3 seconds. That last lap doing battle with Owens cost him 0.6 of a second. So Jewell continuing with fresh air and no one in his way, just continues to push forward. George Jewell leading in the 36 Chevrolet.
Yeah, George Jewell is just putting on a clinic here in the second half of this race here, Mean Gene. We saw David Brenner dominate the first half of the race, but he is now in some serious trouble after the fuel mistake. He's 6th place, 10.5 seconds off the lead. Brenner's going to need a caution to have any chance to recover to a win here tonight.
Yeah, Brenner lost 11 seconds in that pit fiasco. Sad part, he's 10.5 seconds back of the leader. You take that little mistake out of there, and I would have won that race. You never know. He'd be up in the front, that's for sure. 14 cars on the lead lap. We just saw George Jewell put the number 15 position car a lap down. David Buell would be next on his radar. Little battle right there as well. David Buell does not want to be eaten alive by George Jewell.
Yeah, only 14 trucks on the lead lap. I mean, wow, we're setting a blistering pace here. George Jewell,
well, a lot of green laps, right? We've done a lot of green ones here.
That's very, very true. And we're seeing just the parity in the field here tonight and how difficult it really is to get anything done. Speaking of getting stuff done, Zach Engel working his way forward. Looks like he just made it past until Wolf was in place.
Oh, and A.J. Benish, look at him, 0.3 of a second faster than Jewell. Tommy Fox actually really quick as well, 100th of a second faster. And Kyle Lennott back in 18th, a lap down, actually just turned to 30.39. So that's like 0.8 of a second faster than the leader. So Kyle Lennott really happy with his tires. He just took them 8 laps ago.
Yep, here we go. Eric Gambrell going to make a move on David Brenner in turn 1. And is he going to slide him? Look at that move.
Look at the rookie taking advantage of the pole. Oh, Brenner hits the wall. He goes up high, brings it down low. Hold on. Man, that's a song. I think Journey, Steve Perry sung that one. Going to get it back onto the track, but that's going to let Gambrell go around. And that's the 74. Morris Craven back there behind him. Craven, of course, is a lap down at the moment. He's back in 24th. Actually, he's a few laps down, so having a rough day. Up ahead, there's Brenner now trying to hold off the charge of the 47 of Zach Engel. This is the battle for 7th position. David Brenner last pitted on 86, Engel on 95. So those are 9-lap fresher tires. Let's see what he can do with them.
Yeah, he's doing a great job here. Look at him. He's going to get to the inside down out of 4. Can he complete the pass in turn 1? He's going to be able to finish the pass. Look at that. David Brenner, man, he's going to be really kicking himself and his picker as well after this race.
Oh, no. Tommy Fox made contact with the 51 of Rose. No, and that he toes. That is unfortunate. Tommy Fox qualified second and charged up hard. That Rose running really slow laps right now, 32.65. That guy's, second and a half off the lead pace. So he is milking that car. Last pitted on lap number 84. And Tommy Fox, unfortunate. Let's look at that replay.
And you can see this 57 coming up on him. And the 51. Oh, my goodness. I don't think those shiny wheels helped his shiny head drive that truck faster there coming out of 2.
No, he just was off pace coming out of that turn, Tommy. Yeah, hitting the wall, you're off pace.
Yeah, Yeah, we've seen, how many times have we seen that tonight, Mean Gene? That's like the third or fourth time we've seen that exact scenario play out, where somebody just ends up on the wrong end of it. In this case, it's Tommy Fox's day, and not even a caution to boot, so that's a really tough break for actually both parties, since Jerry Rose isn't a caution from this, and Tommy Fox's race, I mean, you could just see the damage. I think it may have blew up his engine when he hit the wall that hard, too. Really tough break for Tommy.
You're right, because certain cars, like I hear on the pit, Rose has an extra set of tires in there. He'd love to see a caution come out to put those tires on. And now it looks like he's just getting out. It looks like Vulpus is going to put him a lap down as well. That is a dangerous car. I would not want to get near that 51 right now. Up front, George Jewell continues to be the leader. 4-second lead, slowly growing 0.2 of a second faster than Novella that last lap. AJ Benish still being one of the fastest cars out there that's actually in contention, but AJ, that is a 7.5 second lead, needing a caution. A caution would change this landscape and have everybody tighten him back up.
Yeah, right now we're looking at the best battle on the track, and that's the battle for 5th. David Owens doing his best to hold on to it over the rookie Gambrell, and then you got Zach Engel in tow with them. This is the best battle on the track right now, Mean Gene, and it's a battle for a top 5.
Yeah, David Owens, the veteran, he's won multiple races. Meanwhile, Gambrell, he is looking for his first top 5, would love to get it here. 47 of Zach Engel on the outside. Remember, Engel won at Talladega last year. A lot of speed there, a lot of caution being shown by these drivers late in the race.
Yeah, they're doing a good job here, not doing any sort of damage to each other. As we've seen these guys go side by side a lot today, a lot more. That's a lot of give and take. For 14 to go, some great awareness from the rookie right there to just give up the position for right now and maybe try and bring down the charge later on. Only 13, coming to 13 to go this time though. So that's some next level thinking, I think, especially from a rookie there to be in that kind of a spot.
Well, he might be a rookie to the Bonfire Race League. He might be a rookie to iRacing, but I did have the opportunity, as did you, to race with him back in console days. And except for lagging out and blinking at us sometimes, Gambrell always had a little bit of something in the tank, especially in a run. Just seems to be in the zone here today. Meanwhile, speaking of being in the zone, look at Jewell. He's going to go ahead and put a driver yet another lap down. So Jewell continuing to just dominate. 13 cars on the lead lap right now. Looks like Sam Milliken would be next on his radar, 30 seconds ahead of him. So he's creeping up on the 17 of Milliken now.
Yeah, I really don't want to go off this battle for 5th. This has been some of the best racing we've seen all night between these three. Not really making any sort of contact, some good give and take, but also some really good side-by-side battling. Really got to give these three a tip of the cap right here so far. Hopefully I'm not giving them the commentator's curse and we see a wreck here in a second.
They're going to take them all out. It's going to be your fault. Look at Engel peeking down. Engel is on, he got tires on 95. Gambrell took tires on 94. Owens on 88. We're on lap number 120 now. So you're talking about, 30? Oh, wiggle.
Okay, that got really close to the commentator's curse, but I think we're good.
What were you doing to him? And look at McWhorter now coming into the picture as well. McWhorter a few laps down, got a few scars on that truck. Gonna race it. Gambrell finally gets it back on the rail, pulls away. You can see behind him, though, McWhorter in the 45 is Stephen Neal. They wouldn't mind pulling Gambrell back into their chase. I mean, misery loves company. And if anybody's had a miserable night tonight, it's got to be McWhorter. He's only a couple of laps down, but he has been unfortunate tonight, being caught up in a lot of situations.
Yeah, also, you can see with the damage that he has left, he has some pretty decent speed. He might have been able to get a good run out of this if he didn't let himself purposely go a lap down early in the race. So he might be kicking himself, especially with how important it is for him to get points. 12th place finish is worth a lot more than an 18th place finish in this point style format, as you know all too well, Eugene.
Well, McWhorter, he might have a shot. He's in 18th, 2 laps down, chasing Rose, but he's a second and a half faster. I'm sorry, two seconds faster. Yeah, 1.5 seconds faster. So he might have a shot to catch the truck in front of him. Rose continuing to be pinballed by people. That truck is terrible. Don't get near that rookie. Look at Milliken. You need brown pants to get around that guy. He already killed Tommy Fox. Don't play with him.
That got really scary there with the 32 in turn 1. I thought we were about to see a big wreck right next to the leader, George Jewell. That is the last thing he would want to see right beside him for certain.
Yeah, Edward Peltz running 33.75. That's the slowest truck out there. And then Rose with the 32.87, 34.29. 34.29. I mean, that's black flag speed, right?
I mean, is he running a truck right now, or is he driving around in his old Dodge Charger?
I think that's Fred Flintstone style right there. Up front, George Jewell continuing to lay down this dude is just doing it. 12 cars, 12 trucks now in the lead lap as he swings by Jake Johnson again and puts that fella down 3 laps. Jake Johnson, this is a playoff contending driver right now. So to see him eat people up and put them multiple laps down, this green flag has just been seriously detrimental. So many guys trying to save a set of tires for a late caution in the race, and they're not seeing it. We're on lap number 126. Only 5 laps to go here today. If this thing stays green, it's going to be the strategy and skill of George Jewell coming out on top. AJ Benish had some fast lap times. He's back in 3rd, but he just could not close the gap on Jewell. Jewell just, once he made that pass back on lap 81, I want to say, it was just his after that, and he just pulled away and made this day his so far here in Darlington. We're live on the Vortex Racing Network. This is the Good Food Fast Waffle House 170. We're 2 wide up in the booth smoking Joe and Mean Gene Money, bringing you all the action here. Such a good race here today. Early cautions, but now late green flag. Very similar to what we saw on Monday as well.
Yeah, right now that battle for 5th is still going strong.
It ain't over.
David Owens doing his best to hold on with those older tires. Zach Engel is battling hard with Eric Gambrell. And then you look at that Alex McWhorter with his broken truck. He's trying to creep into the picture there as well. Maybe play a little spoiler and see how that plays out. Still, this is the best battle on the track, is this battle for 5th. I think David Owens might have a grip on it, though, here as we come to 2 to go. But the battle for 6th is on between Zach Engel and Eric Gambrell.
Yeah, Engel and Gambrell battling, 1 lap different tires. Engel does have 1 lap fresher tires. Gambrell, except for being caught up in that early foolishness, getting a little whack from Bulpus as well, seems to have done the repair that he needed to do to get that thing rolling, and he's just having a really good day. Engel, again, another driver looking for playoffs, so he's got to keep this up. Don't take too many chances. You don't want to turn your 7th place, your 6th place, your top 10 into all of a sudden falling back. 12 trucks on the lead lap. Big difference in points was seen 7th and 12th. Meanwhile, still people going into the pits. They must be afraid of running out here at the end. There it is. George Jewell wins.
Gene, did you lose track of what lap we were on there?
No, it was just nothing to talk about. This guy dominated. That's like if you come on... You know what? Last time I saw dominance like this was when a white belt asked me if he could roll with me on a Saturday, okay? Just straight choking murder. Man, we got done. He said, "You're old." And I said, "Yeah, well, you're the one tapping, pal." George Jewell with the win. Congratulations to the 36 Chevrolet of Jewel with the big victory here today. You can see him bringing it up to the start-finish line, and he's a spinning it. What a great race here today for George Jewell. Strategy and skill put together. You know, and it was that pass. Once he took the lead and you saw Binish got caught up in traffic and he just couldn't get through there clean. He and Jewell were on the same tire strategy. Binish actually waited one extra lap to 94 to come in, but then he just could not overcome that error. That error ended up being a 4-second error once he got into that wreck, and that is what powered Jewell. Clean air and great driving by George Jewell as he is going to take the win. How about Matt Novella? Another podium. This guy is peaking at the right time in the right place. AJ Binish going to finish third on the podium with these guys continuing his assault on the playoffs. Justin White, lap down early on, comes back, gets that fourth place. David Owens, this is a fellow we're accustomed to seeing in the top 5. Today, no different. Owens going to finish 5th for Gulf Coast Racing. Zach Engel needs these points for playoffs. Finished 6th. Did get by the rookie Gambrell. But hey, bravo. Kudos. Hats off to the 923. Next week, going to have a new number. 7th place today. David Brenner, pole sitter, little bit of trouble. What happened to him? Something about tires and gas. Going to finish 8. Joe Volpus 9. Jared Kelly, that's your top 10.
Jax Duvall able to keep it on the lead lap, get an 11th place finish out of it here tonight. Kevin Kyle, your last truck on the lead lap in 12th. First truck a lap down, Sam Milliken. With the way the strategy worked out, it didn't really work out in his favor. He ends up a lap down in 13th. David Buell, we saw the strategy not work out for all these guys here. A little further back, the strategy just didn't go in their favor.
No, they were waiting with a set of tires.
Yeah, exactly. And the way they pitted, it just didn't work out. Puts Buell back in 14th a lap down. Kyle Lynott, you see him. He had a lot of speed here. He finishes 15th a lap down. Schofield 16th. First truck 2 laps down is going to be Jerry Rose in 17th. Great job for him only being 2 down with how much he was struggling there for the last 20 laps of the race. Alex McCorder, with all his trouble, he ends up 18th 2 laps down. If we go further on through the field, finishing in 19th is going to be Jake Johnson. He was 3 down, along with Stephen Neal in 20th. Then 5 laps down, you got Edward Peltz in 21st. 6 laps down, you got Zach Williams in 22nd. And then you get the guys that had a lot of trouble tonight. Tommy Fox, we saw his race end. He finishes 23rd. Morris Craven, 23 laps down, 24th. Tim Darby, 40 laps down in 25th. And then the guys that we saw caught up in that big wreck early in the race, Jared Ogletree, 26th. Matthew Smith, 27th. Nick Mills ends up 28th. 29th will end up going to Brandon Sheldon. All those guys eliminated in that one big wreck there, if you remember, Mean Gene. And then some guys that also were caught up in some other stuff at the beginning. Nicholas Rendo, Wayne Newman. And then the guys that started and parked, I don't even know if they completed a lap here. Jeff Pfeiffer, Troy Sand, Sam Ballard, 33rd through 35th there. To round out your field here for tonight's race.
Yeah, a lot of pain and a lot of celebration as we see these guys do battle here at the Good Food Fast Waffle House 170, live on the Vortex Racing Network, brought to you by Joe Quinn. Thank you, Joe, for your sponsorship. Here's the updated standings after the race. David Owens, top 5, gonna stay in position. David Owens, your point leader, got a nice 20-point lead over Joe Volpus. AJ Binish, he's got 2 less starts, so that makes it impressive to see him up in that 3rd spot. David Buell gonna finish going to be in 4th. And here we go. Moving around. Justin B. White on his top 5 finish, going to move up into 5th. Nick Mills going to drop down just a little bit. Zach Engel getting away from that spot. Stephen Neal finished 3 laps down, but hey, consistency breeds success, and that's what he's been doing. Here's David Brenner going to move up a spot. Matt Schofield drops. Kyle Lynott sticks, and then here's where it gets fun, and that gap got a little bit bigger between 12th and 13th, didn't it?
Yeah, look at those guys. So, Kyle Lynott has that last spot still locked down, but then 12 points behind him. That gap really did grow a lot, Mean Gene, as you noted. Jake Johnson now up to 13th, but he's 12 points behind Kyle Lynott. So some work to do for all these guys. Sam Milliken, a big mover this week. He made up 5 spots. 17 points out, though, for him. Alex McCorder right behind him. A night of what could have been for him, I really think, to be a lot closer to that cut line. He's 17 points back, in 15th place in the points. No, I was right, 18 points back. I can't read in the points. 19 points back right behind him in 16th, making up a lot of spots this week as well. Jax Duvall. Then we saw Tommy Fox. Man, he went from being able to, he was going to get, I think, a top 15 finish out of that race. Ended up finishing way towards the back. So a lot of points lost on his front there as well. He could be very close to that cut line, but instead he is 20 points behind Kyle Lynott. Graham McGivern, he's still holding it down there. I don't think we saw him there tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he didn't start tonight.
No start for Graham. That really hurt him here. He's going to be 22 points out, so he's got a real uphill battle ahead of him now. Edward Peltz, he struggled all night long as well. He's 23 points out. Troy Sand, he was one of those guys that started and parked. Didn't see him out on the track at all. He's 23 points behind as well. And then George Jewell, you see him, he's in 21st, but he's not going to be able to get to the minimum start requirement, I don't think, there, Mean Gene. He's going to be a start short. If I can get my words out, that'd be great. The next guy down that has a chance to do anything is Chris Smith, and he missed tonight's race again here, so he's over a full race behind. So he's got a lot of work to do, as do Morris Craven, Paul Ferdiani a little further back as well.
Well, I mean, the real thing you have to think about is, these guys are close. You can see Jake Johnson. He's just 12 points behind. But do you think Kyle Lynott's going to blink in the next 3 races?
He's usually very
Kyle's
good.
The guy that might win. I mean, it's a dude that could just win. I mean, he could pull out podiums the rest of the way. It doesn't matter if it's a road course, a super speedway, a short course, an intermediate. This is a guy that could win. Schofield, he's doing what he's done with one less start than these other people. He had a little bit of trouble tonight. They didn't have the fastest truck, but he still managed to come home. I think he was 16th, which in a 35-man field is good points. David Brenner, this is a fellow we're used to seeing up at the front. Stephen Neal, this was a one-off. Today, Stephen Neal finished 3 laps down, not indicative of what we've seen him do. Zach Williams, that guy's not going to blink. Zach Engel, not going to blink. Nick Mills, I mean, he keeps his eyes wide open when he T-bones somebody. It's going to be hard to see any of these guys up here blink. So I'm not saying that it's not possible for some of these lower guys to make moves, especially a Duvall, especially the way Sam Milliken's been running. We saw him have some great moments, but it's going to be hard to overcome what those, the 12 guys that we see dialed in right now. Not saying it's impossible, but it's going to take a lot of moving parts. It's going to take extraordinary driving by the fellas that are 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. And it's also going to take a mistake or a bad luck by those top 12. So as we're dialing it in, this is why you got to be here every race. Imagine if Duvall had 3 more starts like everybody else.
Yeah, and you know what I'm looking at here is there's 2 guys in particular that have really done above and beyond not making all the starts. AJ Benish, he's in 3rd place with 3 wins on only 8 starts. Really, really incredible how many points he scored in those 8 races to be where he is in the points. And the other guy I'm looking at, you just mentioned him, David Brenner. If you take out that issue he had tonight, this would have been another top 5 run, which would have given him 5 top 5s in 7 starts. Instead, he's got 4 top 5s in 7 starts and a 5th top 10 from tonight's race. And he's up in 10th with 3 less starts. Those 2 guys really stick out to me, as well as Kyle Lynott with his race win, of course, last week at Daytona. He's in a playoff spot right now as well with 3 less starts. Those 3 guys to be in playoff spots at this point, really, really incredible to be in front of some of these guys and be as competitive as they are in the points.
Well, one thing I can assure you, though, moving forward, Jake Johnson is not going to have a 3-lap down race next week. Sam Milliken as well. That guy's going to be back up in the top 10. Alex McWhorter, Duval, all those fellas going to be battling for top 10, top 5s as we move forward. I really think those guys are going to do their part. The question is, will the fellas above them have trouble? Now, you might be wondering, where are we going to be next week? That's right, Indy, baby. We're going to go to the Indy Oval, and that is where a wreck can end your day. No fast repairs, 60 laps of mayhem. Cannot wait to see who is going to be those top drivers, and especially in these trucks, man. When you go into that corner hot, especially going into 1 and 3, things happen.
I don't think I've ever seen a truck race in either BRL or MRL personally at Indianapolis before, at the Brickyard. Every time we go there, it's usually to Indianapolis Raceway Park, the little track, of course, just outside of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So I'm curious to see how the truck package, with the higher downforce, lower horsepower, plays out in Indianapolis. I think we're going to see a lot of drafting. Mattering on the way the session is set up and the way the fuel is and the tires as well, may really paint a picture of maybe some fuel strategy, tire strategy. We might have a really, really interesting race. I'm very curious to see how it goes next week. So I'm gonna be excited to call that one next week with you, Mean Gene.
Yep, and we'll have our buddy back. Zach Panzarella will be back from iTally, so he can be part of it, and we'll be 3 wide in the booth next week for the Everybody Love Everybody 150, sponsored by David Brenner. And I think we haven't seen being the race sponsor be beneficial yet. Hopefully David Brenner can break that jinx. I don't want it to be like a Madden cover issue, where you sponsor a race and then you go downward. So again, here you go. This is our schedule here on the Vortex Racing Network. Now, tomorrow, Wednesday's DDI Truck Series will be an exhibition. Zach Panzarella is still on vacation, so they're going to do an exhibition one more week before they rejoin the regular season. So lots of action, 4 nights a week, bringing it to you. I mean, that's more than 50%, and I didn't have to take my shoes off to do that math.
Yeah, you've that's always a good sign that you're able to figure that one out without using your toes there, Mean Gene.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we got some great racing going on, a lot of truck series racing going on over here, which is really cool to see. So you get to see these guys race the trucks in 3 separate leagues, and I think that's really nice for you guys to see, as well as some live action as well on Monday nights in the Monday Mayhem Cup Series. And I'm really excited just to see the way things go next week in this series at Indianapolis. I'm also excited for Thursday. I don't know how excited I'm going to be fair, especially since I wrecked myself the last time we were there. Watkins Glen is on the schedule this week for Thursday's Thriller Truck Series on the VRN network this coming Thursday, or when we were able to do the rebroadcast.
And you know what else? I think we can finally say it. Guess what is going to happen on Sunday the 14th?
You're gonna, I don't know. What are you gonna do?
Well, I'm going to go fishing, but Bonfire Race League Sunday Premier Cup returning to the Vortex Racing Network. That's right. The deed is done. The contract has been signed. David Buell making moves in the office. Vortex Racing Network gonna pick up the Bonfire Race League Premier Cup opener at Kentucky, and that is going to be on Sunday, the September the 14th. Mean Gene is going to be fishing that day. I'm going to be in Destin getting a suntan, 8 hours off of the coast out in the middle of nowhere trying to catch amberjack, swordfish, and tuna. But I'll be back after that for the rest of the season. So you're going to have Smoke and Joe in the booth. They're going to have Johnny Replay That's one of our new broadcasters coming on board. And Kevin, Kyle, or Zach Panzarella, depending on who is available that day. So big news going on with the Vortex Racing Network as we are going to pick up the Sunday Premier Cup once again. Great job by Aaron Brown on his network doing that. I believe Aaron's going to pick up the Saturday League as well. So still continuing to just grow, expand. If you're at home watching this thing, reach out to league officials. David Buell can get you involved. Matt Schofield, Chris Smorrell, Nick Mills, all these guys can get you into the Bonfire Racing League Sunday mornings, as well as the Big Truck and Tuesday and the Saturday Expansion League. Based on your iRacing, if you're a 4,500 guy, I think there's somewhere else that you might have a better time. As well, Monday nights continuing with the Moonlight Racing League. You can see Monday Night Mayhem. You can see the Wednesday Xfinity. You can see the Thursday Thriller. So lots of action still expanding here as our leagues continue to grow and grow. But what happened tonight? It was a great dance as we saw absolute dominance by George Jewell picking up the win here tonight at Darlington. George Jewell is victorious and continuing our race toward the playoffs. This was race number 10 in our 13-race regular season. Joe, any final thoughts as we walk out of here?
Yeah, what a great racetrack to watch the race in person. Not so much for the virtual experience racing on the track.
No.
I'll say that much. I'm gonna just leave it at that for this track. I'm just like I said, I'm very excited to see what happens next week. We got a lot of guys that are in really good spots in the points. All guys that always like going for the win. David Owens, AJ Benish. We see Joe Volpus up there as well. All those guys always trying to be up front and go for race wins. But I'm going to put my early money on Kyle Ladnott, somebody that's been fast in both the Cup and the Xfinity cars around this track in both MRL and BRL. My early money goes on Kyle Ladnott for next week.
Wow, you making calls already?
I'm going to go bold, and I'm going to say it on this broadcast and put all the pressure on him when we race next week.
Oh, my. Wait. You're the one making the call. The pressure's on you. You can't say that somebody else is going to win and put the pressure on them. I mean, what is that, like a broadcaster thing? I haven't heard of that.
I mean, if I pick you, you better do good. That's all I got to say about that.
Oh my word. That is some serious pressure. I'm sitting here looking at past seasons. You're right. I do not see Indianapolis on the league except for the smaller track. For me, walking away from this, usual suspects getting up there, looking at the playoff points, I think it's going to take some serious moves by Alex McQuarter, by a Jake Johnson, by a Jax Duvall, by a Tommy Fox to get back into this thing. And it's going to take a blink or some bad luck by those fellas that are on there. And with you calling out Ladnott to win next week, I don't think that 12th place of Ladnott is going to come open. Great racing today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here on the Vortex Racing Network. Too wide in the booth tonight. Mean Gene Money, along with Smokin' Joe, doing all of the color and production here tonight. Thank you so much for that, Joe. On behalf of myself, Smokin' Joe, league officials, David Buell, Matt Schofield, Chris Smorrell, Stephen Neal, AJ Benish, all the boys back in the production truck. Our sponsor tonight, Joe Quinn, the Good Fast, Food Fast, Waffle House 170, and of course, KK Woodscapes. He'll put together trophies for everything from 17th place finish or last place finish in your league, fantasy football league. Been our pleasure tonight, ladies and gentlemen. As always, bottoms up and hammer down.